Hi, I'm Nick. Welcome back to I Could Do That DIY for another video. Today's video is very special because it's actually my anniversary video. I've had my YouTube now for about 4 years, so let's shake things up a little bit. I'll be designing a brand new doll. Thank you so much to the sponsor of this video, Resione. Resione reached out to me with the opportunity to try out their Th-Bjd Resin. I didn't know it was the thing, but this resin is actually specifically designed for ball jointed dolls. Apparently it's very well suited for them and also works for other articulated action figures. According to them, they say that it has excellent scratch resistance and wear resistance. They ensure that the joints will fit precisely together and won't produce powdering during daily friction, which is actually very interesting and I'm excited to see how that will turn out. It's available in 4 colors, which are ultra white, cream pink, and bronze. Apparently one of the key features of this resin is that it's non-yellowing, scratch resistant, it prints accurate to shape, tough and drop resistant, resistant to long-term cracking, easy to clean, and is resistant to thinners, so if you want to take off the face and repaint it, apparently it won't damage the face. Super interesting. I'm very excited to try this out. I loved all the colors so much, Resione actually sent me all of them to try out, so I'll be printing the doll in all of the colors. Speaking of the doll, let's get to her new design. This doll, unlike Honey, is going to be more of a fashion doll. She'll have a 9 heads proportion inspired by the very talented Nancy Riegelman. I really wanted her proportion to look like a fashion croquis and to be able to handle all variety of clothing. Honey has a very limited proportion, so this will give me some new opportunities. The new body proportion is really fun. Definitely a lot longer and leaner than Honey. When she's fully printed, she's just under 18 inches at 17 3/4 inches, which is actually almost a full 7 inches taller than Honey. For her face, I still wanted a stylized aesthetic and something that isn't super real. Like I mentioned earlier, she's super tall, so she's going to require a stand to stay upright. I'll design that off screen as well as a pair of high heels for her. Alright, now let's move on to laying her out and printing her. Because she's so huge, she's going to require 2 print beds. This is the first one laid out. As you can see, it'll take about 5 hours and 7 minutes. The second tray will take about 10 hours. So needless to say, we need to start printing. But before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Also make sure to hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest projects. If you haven't already checked out the website, go check it out. www.thehoneydoll.com. There are a bunch of different options on the website for you to explore. You can purchase a stock honey or customize your very own. There's always new things being added to the shop, so make sure to keep an eye out. Currently there are a bunch of items on sale, ranging from fully painted honeys to base stock honeys, so go check them out. Alright, now let's get to the project. I'll start the printing process with the color Ultra White, of course using the Th-Bjd resin. I'll just pour it into the machine and start the print. When it's done printing, I'll start the post-processing. Cool, everything looks pretty good so far. I'll start by removing all of the parts from the print plate. Then I'll place it into the alcohol bath and clean it. Once all the parts are cleaned, I'll remove the supports. Then I'll cure all of the parts for 10 minutes on each side. This is actually a very long time and would normally cause yellowing on white parts, but for this, they turned out perfect. Here's the second tray after it's all done printing. I'll do the same post-processing on this and then move on to the next color. The next color is going to be cream white. Awesome! Let's go ahead and print this. When it's all done printing, it looks like this, which I really love the color. It's a really nice pale skin tone. I think this would be really nice for a Halloween project. Again, I'll do the same post-processing and move on to the next color, cream pink. Cream pink is pretty much your standard peach skin tone. I really like how it turned out. Now for the final skin tone, bronze. Bronze has slightly different settings, but it prints just as nice. I was really obsessed with the color as soon as I poured it. And I love how it turned out. I'm actually super excited to customize this one in the future. So here's a closer look at all the parts for Ultra White. Now let's continue on with some post-processing. Next, I'll start sanding all of the parts. I'll do these on any rough areas I find, or where the support's connected to the doll. Once all the parts are sanded, I'll drill holes in the sides of the ankles and the wrists for posts. The posts will be made out of some wire. I'll just put them into the holes and measure them and cut them to length. Then I'll glue them in with some super glue. Next, I'll make some S-hooks out of the same wire. Once that's all done, I can string up the doll. I'll use some elastic and string the upper body. One issue I noticed once the top was strung together is that the joints are actually super slippery because the finish is so nice and it prevents powdering. This is kind of an issue because it kind of slips around and doesn't hold pose as well, but I think I have a fix for this, which is something I normally would do for the joints anyway. Normally I would do a matte UV top coat on all of the joints to prevent powdering. It also adds a little bit of traction, so I think this should work. I can also use this as an additional yellowing test. Let's coat all these parts and also see if it turns yellow. Once the UV matte coat is all cured, it looks pretty good. There's no additional yellowing and the color is still super white. I'll carry on and keep coating the rest of the parts. After that, I'll add magnets into the head and to the head cap. Then I'll go back to stringing the doll. Once the top and bottom are strung, I'll string them together and then connect them to the head. Alright, awesome. Now that she's fully strung together, she looks really great. The movement and the posability is all holding, and I'm really happy with it. Now she's fully ready for customization. Awesome. Now let's go ahead and move on to the other colors. I'll do the same process for cream white. Here's how that turned out. Looks pretty good. The next doll I completed was the cream pink. The cream pink turned out really nice. And the last color I worked on was the bronze. The bronze, after I sanded it, showed some scuffing. So I just finished that with a matte top coat. And it turned out really nice. Then I just strung it all together, and with that, all the dolls are complete. Let's see how they turned out. So here's how all the dolls turned out. Overall, I'm pretty happy with them. The Resione Th-Bjd Resin was actually really awesome. The finish is really nice. Of course I had a little bit of a slipping issue, but that was easily resolved. The colors are really beautiful. I'm really obsessed with the bronze as well as the cream white. Those will be super fun to customize. I'll definitely be using all of these for future projects. I'm really looking forward to exploring a new doll shape. Not that I don't love honey or I won't be using honey in the future, I'm just giving some variety. I hope you enjoyed this video, and definitely check out the Th-Bjd resins from Resione. And of course, thanks again to Resione for sponsoring this video. I'll put a link to their website in the description box below, so definitely check them out. For the remainder of the video, enjoy the rest of the photos. Thank you for making it to the end of the video, and thanks again to Resi1 for sponsoring this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!